Imagine a room deep beneath the earth, air thick with the scent of old paper and dust. For centuries, a single book has rested here untouched, its leather cover cracked, its pages brittle. This is a vault of secrets, where history is kept under lock and key. The book is known only in whispers, the Gospel of the Serpent. Its story was thought too dangerous for the world to know, so it was hidden away, erased from memory. Not written on ordinary parchment, but on hammered copper etched in a lost language. The story inside does not speak of sin or temptation, but of enlightenment. It describes a world before ours, a garden of blissful ignorance that was, in truth, a beautiful cage. The keepers of this garden wanted humanity to remain simple, never to question, never to seek beyond their walls. 500 years ago, a cardinal sealed the book away, fearing its message could unravel the fabric of faith. The gospel offered a different path, a different savior, and a new understanding of good and evil. Was the cardinal protecting humanity from a lie or hiding a truth that could set us free? So the book waits in the silent dark, a forgotten testament to a different kind of faith. Its story is a quiet hum beneath the grand chorus of accepted history. The Gospel of the Serpent is more than a book, it is a question. It asks us to consider what we've been told, and what's been left out. The whisper of its existence continues, a faint echo in the corridors of power. Our story begins in ancient Alexandria, where a scribe named Ammonius worked by the light of an oil lamp. The city's great library was a beacon of knowledge, and Ammonius, a quiet keeper of stories. One night a traveler from the east brought him scrolls older than any he'd seen. These scrolls told a different beginning, a garden, the first humans, and a serpent, not as a tempter but as a messenger of light and wisdom. The serpent, called Luminael, offered not an apple, but the gift of consciousness and self-awareness. It sought to free humanity, not trick it. Ammonius spent months translating the text, captivated by its message. The serpent saw humanity living in a dream, unaware of its potential, and descended to awaken them. It taught the first humans to think for themselves, to ask questions, to see the universe as it truly was. This was a gift of liberation, an awakening from slumber. Ammonius saw parallels to Prometheus, the titan who gave fire to humanity. Like Prometheus, the serpent was a benefactor, punished for compassion and cast down as a villain. Ammonius realized he was transcribing a hidden gospel, a story of a savior misunderstood and turned into a monster by those who feared the light. The message was powerful, and it resonated with myths across cultures. The Gospel of the Serpent was a story of awakening, not of sin. In this hidden gospel, the serpent is a being of pure energy, a river of light, its voice a melody. It does not speak of disobedience but of growth. True divinity, it teaches, is found in the courage to seek understanding. The universe is a mystery, and humanity's purpose is to explore, learn, and become co-creators of destiny. Ancient cultures saw the serpent as a symbol of healing and wisdom. The rod of Asclepius, the Ouroboros. The Gospel of the Serpent emerges from this tradition, presenting the serpent as humanity's first teacher. The forbidden knowledge is not dark magic, but self-knowledge. The serpent teaches humans to look inward, to find the spark of divinity within. It reveals the universe as a single, interconnected consciousness, a message of unity. This wisdom requires no priests or temples, only an open heart and a curious mind. The serpent's story stands in stark contrast to Genesis. One offers damnation, the other, liberation. Perhaps the original story was changed, recasting the serpent as a villain to control the narrative. By making knowledge a sin, those in power kept humanity dependent and fearful. As the early church grew, it sought a single, unified message. Many gospels and beliefs circulated, but diversity was seen as a threat. The church chose which text to include in the Bible, casting out others. The Gospel of the Serpent faced its greatest challenge. Its ideas were radical, even heretical. It suggested the God who forbade knowledge was a lesser being, and the serpent a messenger from a higher source. This contradicted the church's teachings and threatened its authority. The gospel was labeled heresy, all copies ordered destroyed. Scribes and believers were forbidden from copying or reading it. Its memory was wiped from history. But ideas are hard to kill. Rumors persisted in secret societies and Gnostic circles. The question remained, was the serpent an enemy or a forgotten hero? The Gospel of the Serpent echoed Gnostic thought. Gnostics believed the material world was flawed and salvation came from knowledge. For them, the serpent was a heroic figure, sent by a higher god to awaken humanity. The fall from grace became enlightenment, disobedience, liberation. The Church saw these teachings as heresy, threatening its authority. The battle against Gnosticism was fierce, followers persecuted, writings burned. The Gospel of the Serpent, if it existed, would have been the most dangerous of these texts. Its suppression was about power. By controlling the creation story, the Church controlled salvation. The serpent had to be the enemy, or the Church's foundation would crumble. Despite the Church's efforts, a few brave souls preserved the Gospel. Scholars, monks, and mystics made hidden copies, risking their lives. They used codes and symbols, creating a silent network of resistance. The story survived, passed from master to student, a whispered truth in a world of lies. The keepers became a secret priesthood, dedicated to the idea that humanity holds the key to its own divinity. Some say even within the Vatican, a secret society protected the last copy. They became its wardens, believing hiding it was better than destroying it. The Gospel was locked away, waiting for a world wise enough to understand. Centuries later, the Age of Reason dawned. Archaeologists unearthed lost libraries and hints of the hidden Gospel resurfaced. In 1945, the Nag Hammadi Library was discovered, ancient Gnostic texts praising the serpent. These fragments proved the legend was rooted in real tradition. Researchers began hunting for the complete text, from desert sands to European archives. Imagine Dr. Aris Thorne, a modern historian searching ancient libraries for clues. His journey leads him to the Vatican secret archives. There, in a forgotten crate, he finds a fragment, a single page of Coptic script. It describes a serpent of wisdom, its scales like polished silver, its voice the music of the spheres. The forbidden knowledge was real. This was just the beginning. The legend was no longer just a myth. The search for the full gospel had begun anew. The discovery electrified scholars of esoteric history. The fragment was not devil worship but mystical philosophy, poetic, profound, and symbolic. It spoke of the universe as a symphony, the serpent as conductor, guiding souls to harmony. The text worked on many levels, a simple story and a complex map of spiritual transformation. The Church chose one story, closing the door on others. The Gospel of the Serpent represents a path not taken, a door deliberately closed. It reminds us that history is a narrative, always being retold. Sometimes the most important parts are those left out. We stand before a sealed door, the full story of the Gospel of the Serpent hidden behind it. Was it hidden because it was dangerously false, or dangerously true? Perhaps the danger lies in us, not the text. The serpent offers not comfort but the burden of self-awareness. It calls us to awaken, to question, to seek the divine within. The Vatican has never acknowledged the text. The archives remain closed. The story has become a modern myth, a symbol of all that is hidden. The door remains sealed, but the question echoes, what would you do if you held the key? To seek or not to seek, the choice is the serpent's gift. The answer lies within you.